Yeah, the Dolphins, and I'm coming from a fantasy stance. They were extremely frustrating week
Yeah,
one.
I can imagine that.
Dude, I mean, they use motion on every single play, and it makes what it does, it just kills the play value. Like everything gets called with like 2 seconds on the play
Yeah,
clock.
that was a slow offense. Yeah, and especially because like they had a lead for most of the time.
Right.
They still passed a bunch, but they weren't hurrying
Yeah,
at
guys
all.
are moving pre-snap every single play,
Yeah.
so you can't snap the ball fast. So that's set up. Yeah, and coming to this in the game is going to be interesting because the offensive line for Miami didn't play particularly well, and they
Yeah.
are probably going to be out both starting tackles and Terran Armstead and Austin Jackson. I mean, Austin Jackson, whatever, but losing Terran Armstead already. And this is the thing you get with Terran Armstead. Like they're getting the
Yep.
Terran
Yeah,
Armstead experience.
that was why he was available for what he was
Yep.
at the time. Yeah.
So we'll see if he's able to play, because the one element of the Ravens that was still that we saw bounce back was the defense. But they too, the Ravens were an equally frustrating offense. Like they did what they could in that game, made the big plays, but also were not efficient at any level. Just lived on big plays. The Ravens were under center a lot, which for them you typically don't see. They couldn't run the football. It was the fewest amount of rushing yards they've ever had in a Lamar Jackson start. It's this game to me is like a screaming under. Like we might get 2 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah, or like we could also get like 7 because like there's coverage breakdowns and we're just seeing like it's going to be more designed for the Chiefs. But Lamar Jackson had the highest A dot in the league in week one, so it got to a point where Lamar was just like, screw it, I'm going deep. And we kind of saw that with the Duvernay touchdown. We saw it with the breakdown in the Rashad Bateman touchdown, which was a lot of fun. But there was just, it got to a point where Lamar was just trying to make things happen downfield. And they were kind of the opposite. They had a lot of no huddle, and it was just kind of, it looked a little early, the Ravens last year, where they were just kind of trying to spread the ball out, and it was just like Lamar try to make a play down the field because we don't really have anything else. Neither of these teams could run the ball in
No, I
week
mean
one.
that's the
And
Ravens.
Miami couldn't
Yeah.
either, and they were trying to they kind of had to run because like they want to show those run looks so they can use the play action off of it. But none of those runs were effective. So like that's kind of going to be one of those things, and you don't want to be putting Tua in long down in distance. Yeah, and that's kind of one of those, especially with some of these defenses, right? Because I think like both of these defenses showed some like really fun looks that is going to be like real cool to see like how both of these continue to evolve going forward. And like there was like Miami didn't blitz a lot. Like it wasn't that high blitz rate that we kind of saw last year, but they were so good at creating free rushers. There was a play where they like pushed Jerome Baker down to the line of scrimmage, and Emmanuel Ogbah just like shifted just a little bit before the snap. And so the tackle went out to go and block Baker, and Emmanuel Ogbah is a free rusher on Mac Jones and had like absolutely no time. So they didn't have a super high pressure rate, but when they did, 1.7 seconds average from snap to pressure for the Dolphins. So like that was just one of those things we're going to continue to see. They're going to manipulate the line of scrimmage where they can get some free rushers. And remember last year, like this was the cover zero game, right? This is when Miami just like was blitzing Lamar Jackson as much as they could, and like the Ravens like couldn't do anything. I think though, if that happens, I don't think that's going to happen, but if they do, I think the Ravens have a couple more answers where the pass game should be a little better. But yeah, I think like there was a lot of fun stuff from the Miami side of the defense too.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the week one and the Ravens, all my fears were kind of about this offense still there.
Yeah.
They have enough actual, playmaking talent outside of Mark Andrews, and Bateman did not really play a lot. And I mean, imagine he'll play a lot more moving forward. And then this offensive line and the backfield is going to be issues. They just have like a talent deficiency on offense, really, outside of Lamar Jackson and a couple players. And we'll see. It looks like J.K. Dobbins is trending towards at least dressing and probably getting on the field field some this week. Juwan James, is out for the year now, who filled in for Ronnie Stanley. Ronnie Stanley's still probably not going to play, so that's going to be another hole at left tackle. They start moving parts up front. The Ravens are a team I expect to probably get better as things go along, but for 1 week, like that was like what I feared the Ravens were going to look like. And it was cool to get by on the Jets that way, but like I don't know if that's something that's going to be sustainable, but the defense is what we were looking for. We were just looking for that the Ravens D to bounce back. And like you said, they were doing a lot of creative things too, able to get a lot of pressure. But that's a game, like a lot of big plays went the Ravens' way. That game could have been a lot tighter than what it was.